Yes, Guruji.
Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karashyami Siddhir Me Sada Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastama Vidvishavahe Om Shanti 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 Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha
Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha.
Tatatritiyodhyayah
Tatritiyodhyayah.
Shri Bhagavanuvacha
Shri Bhagavanuvacha.
Shloka number 28 Tatra Vittu Mahabhaho
Tattva vidhu mahabaho.
Gunakarma Vibhagayoh
Gunakarma vibhagayo.
Guna Guneshu Vartante
Guna guneshu
Guneshu
vardhante.
vardhante
Iti Matva Na Sajjate
Iti matva na satyate.
Gunakarma Vibhagayoh Tattvavit Gunakarma Vibhagayoh Tattvavit Tattvam Janati Iti Tattvavit Guna Karma Vibhagayoh Tattvavit. Ye Mahabhaho, the knower of the Tattva, the truth, with regard to the Guna and the Vibhaga, Gunaha Gunesha Vartante iti Jnatva na sajjata. Knowing that Guna, that is the Gunas express themselves in Guneshu. Gunaha Guneshu Vartante. Prakriti Gunaha Guneshu. Sharira Manasangateshu. Express himself in this body, mind, sense corpus. Prakriti is made of three gunas. The Prakriti guna and the guna expressed through the product of the Prakriti, that is Sharira Manasanga. Therefore, in that, what is that I have to do? What is that I have to contribute? I don't have anything to. In my presence, everything happens. In my presence, gunaha gunesha vartante. So I am free. Neither I engage them in doing karma, nor I am the doer. That is why tattva. So, therefore, I am neither the karta nor karayita. Gunaha guneshu vartante, naturally. In the presence of me, vartante. But in the presence of me, it happens. Therefore, I am not the karta and not the karayita also. Na karta, na karayita. Na karta, therefore, na bhokta also. So, therefore, I am a karta. So, the difference between tattvavit and atattavit is tattvavit janati, atattavit na janati, ajnani. Tattvavit aham akarta iti janat. Therefore, there is no karma for tattvavid. Gunaha guneshu vartante. But agam kinchit na karomi. Whereas atattvavid, he doesn't know, therefore, agam karta iti abhimana, therefore he does, therefore he enjoys. Therefore, karma is for him, not for tattvavid. Then the next paragraph we will read. Knowing you are not a doer, what do you do? When this is so, what should you do? Suppose you know that you are akarta, abhokta, and the other person whose welfare you are interested in takes himself or herself to be a karta. Then what you are supposed to do? The other person, the ajnani, he takes himself to be a karta, bhokta, and you know that you are a karta. Should you tell the person not to do karma? Definitely not. You know that you are a karta, you are a jnani. The other person is not a jnani. Because of ajnanam, because of abhimana with the sharira manasangata, he does karma. Therefore, should not discourage him from doing karma. Should not do. So, upadesha given to the jnani. So, if at all he or she is available for this knowledge, all he can say is Atma is a karta. So, if he is available and if he asks, then teaching can be given. Otherwise, no. Na prashtaha kasyachit bruyat. Should not be given to the unasked. So, if he asks out of real interest, not out of curiosity, if he's asking with commitment, with interest, then it can be told. Atma karta iti. That alone, this alone is the truth. And everything else is a distortion of it. To tell someone not to do karma is the same as saying that performing karma is bondage. If the person looks upon himself or herself as a karta, being deluded in this way, he or she will only become lazy, nothing more. If you tell him that karma is bondage, then the person will refrain from doing karma. Therefore, he will become a lazy person. Becoming lazy achieves nothing. Therefore, Tattvavita that should not tell an ajnani. Therefore, the jnani what can do is, all you can do as a jnani is to tell the person to do karma, but to do it according to dharma. Therefore, dharma is important. Dharma jnanam is important. Dharma jnanam can be taught. Atu atma jnanam. Atma jnanam only for the adhikari. Dharma jnanam for everyone. This much alone you can say. This is what the scriptures enjoin also. Not performing any action will eventually result in a person doing something that is not to be done. So nobody can remain quiet even for a moment. Nagi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishtati karma kritu. So if a person doesn't do what he's supposed to do, he will be doing what he's not supposed to. Because he cannot remain without doing. So therefore, what is not proper for you is not proper for the other person also. Therefore, not performing action will eventually result in a person doing something that is not to be done. So what is not proper for you is not proper for the other person also. There are universal applications inherent in all action. If you compromise with this universal fact, for example, by robbing someone, even though you yourself don't want to be robbed, you may think that you can get away with it, but you cannot. This the scriptures, Shastram tell us. Otherwise, we need not read the scripture. The common sense would be enough. The scripture doesn't need to tell me that it is wrong to rob. We know it. This I knew even as a child. When my older brother took the chocolate out of my hand, I complained to the heavens. I cried and created havoc in the house because I knew very well that he robbed what I held was as mine. He took it away. So everyone is clear on this point and doesn't need a scripture for it. Nor do we need someone to come and preach to us about things we already know. What the scriptures and preachers are saying, however, lest we don't know, is that we should not think we can get away with improper actions. So you can get away with improper. If you don't do what you're supposed to do, you will do what you're not supposed to do, improper action. By doing improper action, one cannot get away. So therefore, the importance of doing one's karma should be taught. Therefore, dharma should be taught, not atma jnanam if the person is not Prepared. So therefore, that's why doing is important. Doing is important for ajnanis. Not doing for jnani, doing is for ajnanis. If ajnani doesn't do what he's supposed to do, he will be doing what he's not supposed to do. So this then is an extra revelation, extra information provided by the Shastram. It says that the reason you don't get away with improper actions, see, by telling this what happens, the person does improper action, and therefore, by that, he gets papam, and therefore, the consequences of that. So therefore, we are not doing favor to him. In fact, it is destroying the person. That is why it should not be given. Therefore, the scripture says that it says that the reason you don't get away with improper actions is because there is a law that is impossible to get around. The moment you commit a wrong action, a debit is registered against your name. You ought to pay for it. The moment you commit a wrong action, a debit is registered. The whole law is based on credit and debit, both of which are automatically recorded to your account, your balance sheet, Papa Punya balance sheet. Although there is no way of manipulating this law, it is Ishvara's. Ishvara manages this account. It is already programmed to record whatever action you perform. It can never go wrong. It is so precisely it is recorded. So there cannot be any mistake in this record. Even by mistake, others' action cannot be credited to you, whether it is punyam or pap. Your own recording, your own action will be recorded, for which you have to pay, whether it's punyam or pap. Everything has been taken care of. That is the order. The order never violates. That which doesn't violate, that which is infallible, that is the order. Order is infallible. So therefore, this law is not a computer that you, the wizard, the karta can manipulate. You can, however, erase it by means of a different operation. Prayashchitta, that is possible. This then is additional information that the scripture may talk about. Because the information is a revelation, something that we have no other way of thinking. The scripture is given the status of revealed knowledge. How to help others in terms of this knowledge? A person who performs action because he or she looks upon himself or herself as a karta should not be told to refrain from action because karma is bondage. Because karma is bondage, therefore refrain from action. Iti, the person should not be told. This is not a help. In fact, this is damaging the person. It is bondage, no doubt. Karma is bondage, no doubt. But telling the person, so it's not going to make him or her free. It's going to make the person lazy or make the person commit that which is not proper. So if, however, you really care for the person and he or she cares for your words, then you can share what you know. Otherwise, your talk will just go over the person's head. It is like someone who is interested in this knowledge trying to explain to his or her parents what he or she is studying. Because the parents do not understand, they will only ask themselves, what did they wrong? What they did wrong for the child to have been steered in such a useless direction? He must have been a little too severe, or that is why our child listens to this Swami, they may say. To attempt an explanation is only to make them feel guilty because it is impossible to convince them of the truth of this knowledge. You may care for the welfare of those who do not understand, but they too have a care for your words. Otherwise, they will only sympathize with you, feeling that you are completely deluded. If they don't care for your words, you can tell them the truth. Sorry, if they do care for your words, you can tell them the truth, that Atma is akarta iti. In the modern literature on Vedanta, you may read that you must become asanga. This is why some people spend an entire lifetime trying to become asanga. It is also sometimes said that you should experience asanga. Atma is asanga. How can we experience? When it is experienced, it is no more asanga. There is an experiencer, an object of experience, and Atma is to be experienced by another who is an experiencer. So all that you experience in this way is anatma. It is not Atma. Because Atma as asanga is a fact to be recognized. It's a fact to be recognized, not to be experienced. Because it is the ever experiencer, the presence of which all the experiences are possible. Therefore, Krishna further cautioned the wise not to confuse those who still think themselves as doers, karta. So all these shlokas are Upadesha for the Jnani. If Arjuna considers himself to be a Jnani, then he should not delude the person either by his action or by his words. So this is supposing the Arjuna is Jnani. The argument is. It's a supposition. Next shloka, 29. Prakritir guna sammudhaha
Prakrite guna sammodaha
sajjante guna karmasu
sajjante guna karmasu
tana krishna vido mandana
tana krishna vido mandana
krishna krishna vinna vichalayet
krishna vinna vichanayet.
krishna vit akrishna vit. Two other krishnam veti iti krishna vit, the one who knows completely, totally. Akrishna vit, one who doesn't know in total. So Prakrutehe guna sammudaha sajjante guna karmasu. Guna sammudaha referring to the person who are mudaha, who are deluded because of the gunas of the Prakriti. Because of the guna. Prakrutehe guna of the Prakriti. Guna is nothing but the modification of the Prakriti, product of Prakriti. By that, gunas, people who are deluded, therefore they sajjante guna karmasu. Therefore, guna karma. Guna is the body, mind, sense complex, and the karma is the action of the body, and therefore that of the mind. And of course, then the senses, sense objects, action, interact with sense organs, interact with sense objects, senses. So guna referring to guna karma, so in that guna referring to body, mind, sense complex, and karma referring to the actions, functions of the body, mind, senses. And Prakrite guna sammudaha referring to the person who is sammudaha, deluded because of the gunas of the Prakriti, because of the modification of the Prakriti. Prakriti is the gunatmika, and the modification of that is guna, and therefore they are deluded. By that, the one who are by that the people who are deluded. Prakriti guna sammudaha sajjante, they become bound to the guna and its action. This is first line. Second line, tan akrishna vidaha mandan krishnavit na vichalayet. Krishnavit, that is karta. Krishnavit, the one who knows Krishnam. Krishna means Atma, total, complete. What is complete? Atma. So Krishnavit means Brahmavit, Atmavit, Tattvavit. So Krishnavit, tan mandan akrishnavidaha na vichalayet means Atmavit na vichalayet, anyan na vichalayet. May the Atmavita, the knowers of Atma, doesn't disturb the one who doesn't know Atma. Na vichalayet. So, Krishnavita should not disturb those who are mandan. Mandan is manda buddhi. They don't have buddhi which is sharp to understand distinctly Atma and Anatma. Therefore, they are not discriminative, aviveki, tan na vichalayet, may not disturb, one should not disturb. Those who are deluded by the modifications of the Prakriti, Prakritehe guna sammudaha, sajjante, become bound guna karmasu, with regard to the modification of the body, mind, sense complex and the actions, guna karmasu. One who knows the self, Krishnavita, should not disturb, na vichalaye, whom? Those who do not know the self, akrishnavita, akrishnavidaha, who are mandan, not discriminative. Here, Prakriti guna sammudaha refers to those who are deluded with reference to Prakriti guna. Prakriti guna. So Prakriti guna is modification of the Prakriti karya. Prakriti, Purusha, two things are there. Prakriti is Maya, Purusha, Chaitanyam. So from Maya only this Jagat has come. and it undergoes or it change. It undergoes change. That's Prakriti, Maya, and Maya Karya is Guna, Prakriti Guna, and of course Shariram is also called by the Guna. The same reason, because Karyatvat Gunaha Bhavati. They take the self to be Atma, to be body, mind, sense complex. This expression also can mean that the people become deluded because of body, mind, senses, and their ignorance with reference to these being the origin of their problems. Looking upon themselves as doers, some people become bound, attached, sajjate, with reference to body, mind, senses, their guna, and with reference to action. To take the body, mind, senses as oneself means I am only as good as the body, mind, senses, with all the limitations. To think this way is bondage. The people discussed in this shloka have become bound with reference to Prakriti Guna. Prakriti Guna meaning body, sense complex, Karya, Karana, Sangata. And also to the karmas, karma of the Karya, Karana, Sangata, body, mind, senses. The bondage manifests in terms of action such as, this is my karma, I perform it for the sake of this result. So this karma to be done by me, I want to enjoy the karma pala, iti matva sajjate. Both people experience success and failure. Sorry, because people experience success and failure, they are bound by the results of action. And if they have Shraddha, Punya and Papa are also involved. The success and failure, the Punyam and Papa become the ruling factors in their lives. Thus, such people have both Drishta and Adrishta conflict attached as they are to the seen and unseen results of the action. The shloka also tells us a little more about those who are bound in terms of guna and karma. They are described as mandas, manda buddhayaha. They are mandaha. Those who have no viveka, mandatvam, mean dullness, the sense you have when you're indigestion, for instance, and don't feel like eating or doing anything. You develop a complete dispassion, even towards foods that you like, and it lasts for as long as a discomfort lasts, at least. If this mandatva happens in our thinking, we have a definition for the person. Mandaha, discussed in this shloka. The mandatva with regard to eating, if that happens with regard to thinking, then that person is mandaha. Aviveki ityartha. Nothing ignites in the brain of such a person. There is no fire whatsoever. Although situations unfold around the person, there is no assimilation, no response. Therefore, the mandatvam used here is only a definition for the condition of the mind. It is not meant as a criticism either of oneself or of another. The word simply indicates a person who doesn't have discrimination, who doesn't discriminate between Atma and Anatma. Two other words are used in this verse to make the same distinction between one who has knowledge and who doesn't. Krishnavita. Krishna means total. What is total? Atma, Brahma is total. So Krishnavita is Brahmavita, total, who has complete Krishna, knowledge, with reference to Atma and Anatma. Whereas Akrishnavita refers to everyone else. Everyone else other than this Jnanis. Because Akrishnavita doesn't know that he or she is not the doer, the person has problems. Krishnavita knows the Agam Akarta, therefore Abhukta. Akrishnavita, he thinks Agam Karta, Agam Bhukta, therefore he has problems, not the Krishnavita. The Akrishnavita may understand that Atma, Anatma, the body, mind, senses, performs action, but may think of Atma as something other than himself or herself, something that is not known. Therefore, she has some knowledge, but doesn't know totally. Therefore, that is the meaning. That is the meaning of Krishnavita. Ignorance is bliss only if it is total. Yes, partial ignorance is a problem. If ignorance is a total, then it is a bliss. If jnanam is total, then also it is bliss. So in between is a problem. For a person who knows nothing, there is no problem. Ignorance is bliss. As they say, provided, of course, ignorance is total. For example, there is no problem in sleep because we don't think of yourself as a karta, bhokta, or anyone else. So only when there is knowledge, that is the problem. Those who are del manda prajnas, who have no discrimination, viveka, with reference to atma and anatma, they are referred to as akrishna. These are the people that a wise person should not disturb. Tan na vichalaye. May the Krishnavitya not disturb the Akrishnavitya, the mind of the person, by telling them that karma will not produce moksha. Karma binds you, therefore don't do karma. That is what the karma will not produce moksha means. Who will do karma? Even though the person doesn't have any idea about moksha. So they should not be told. Karma is all bondage. Why do you do karma? Why do you pray? Why do you go to the church or the temple? Why do you do japa and meditation? It's all nonsense. Only jnana will give you moksha. Iti one should not say. Such comments should not be made because they don't help anybody. Not helping anybody is one thing, but it does harm. The person should not be told not to work or that working for money is useless. Let the person work, otherwise he or she will become lazy. As we saw, he will be doing things which you are not supposed to do. Such people will end up at your door telling that you said that not to make money, and now they need some. People need food and place to live. Who else will they come to? But the person who told them not to make money. Therefore, don't tell them not to make money. Tell them to do so following dharma. You can even give them some ideas on how to go about it. There is nothing wrong with making money. It is a resource, it is a Lakshmi. And as much should not be abused. So we can tell them how to make money dharmically, following dharma. If on the other hand, you're talking to a person who has seen that money is not an end itself, or and he or she has some viveka, then you can talk about karma yoga, sannyasa. It all depends on the person to whom you're talking. Krishna's point here was that the person should not be disturbed unnecessarily. Even a person who is a mumukshu, who has viveka, should not be indiscriminately told to take sannyasa. Important. For someone who has still ragas and dveshas, sannyasa will not work. It will only be abused. Such a person should be told to perform as a karma yoga, as Krishna told Arjuna in the next shloka. Next shloka is important shloka, summary of the karma yoga that we'll see in the next class. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Dhanyavadaha.